Move these headphones, and we're live, everybody. What's up? This is Taylor Lindsay, the owner and operator of the Plant Plug, and turns out we all also have a podcast. Did you know that?
I did.
Are you comfortable with that? Okay, so we're going maskless on this podcast. We're going raw on this podcast. My name is Taylor Lindsay, the owner and operator of Plant Plug, and you did know we had a podcast.
I did.
What's up? The Plant Plug podcast at PPP, where if you borrow something from me, you don't have to worry about it because I'm not coming back. You can keep it, actually.
And that's on that.
That's on that. This is one of my friends, one of my homies. We go way back like car seats. Not really, but what we went through aged just 10 years when we met.
It's like dog years, but the opposite.
Living through those dog years. This is Helen Silva, everybody. Welcome, Helen Silva. Yes.
Yes, it's me.
My goodness, artist extraordinaire. I know what you don't do. I don't want to ask that because I tend to have a lot of entrepreneurs on the show that just have a lot of projects, wear a lot of hats, and I'm not going to say that so much for you. I'm going to say like you wear a lot of shoes.
That's, I think, way more accurate. Definitely.
And it is our Halloween episode, and also we're going to have a guest joining us later on. This is going to be a lot of fun, and it's our annual corn episode.
First one ever, so you can't say we're lying.
Right? And the thing about corn, though, is like in all forms of corn, it's like one of the most, I feel like it's super, not only is it fibrous and beneficial, but it is a big part of the fabrics of society. And I mean that in every sense of the word corn.
Yes.
Context people, you guys need to pay attention to what we're talking about, not who we're talking to. But I will say, though, thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it. It has been such a season, just back-to-back episodes. Speaking of seasonal depression, and back-to-back episodes of seasonal depression, as well as just going through the ropes, as just creating as much content as I can. And I appreciate you being a part of the beginning, middle, the end. Well, not the end, please, we're not there yet, but also just being an active participant. And I really appreciate you being that. You were one of my first clients and my first customers.
Yeah. It's been a while. And I think the first things I got were 2 corn plants.
You totally got 2 corn plants.
So, yeah, like it's been corn from the beginning.
And you grew it in your apartment, right? It started in your apartment?
Right outside my front step.
Yes. Yeah. So, yes, people. And then you got a baby corn.
Yeah, I did. And then this year I tried it again. And I got 2 baby corns.
Yes. And then you just keep going from there. You just have so many baby corns.
They get better every year. So they're out of season now. But,
okay.
They're done. They're done for the year.
Yeah, they are done for the year in Los Angeles. I believe we're in Zone 10. And then I want to get back to the agricultural sense of corn, but I also want the people to know what you mainly do. It can be, if you have 4 projects, it's okay. We have a lot of time to talk about that on the PPP podcast, as well as, let's see, we're going to talk about what kind of plants are in your life. And also, let's talk about your artistry. Let's get into it. So where can people find you and what do you do?
Yeah. So my day job is that I am the editor of social media for Playboy, which is now a consumer goods business with a media spin.
And a lot of corn.
Well, not as much as you'd think, but also more than you'd think.
A lot of art.
And that's corn with a P, people.
Yeah, please. I didn't want to tell him yet. I wanted to tell him like halfway through, like, Are you paying attention? Context, people. But it's very artistic corn too. So before we get into the type of content and how very much so. Like they'd be posing in the mountains and stuff.
Yeah, it's, when it's good, it's really good. And then outside of that, I don't do a whole lot lately. But I paint primarily and try to write a little bit, and I have had a few projects in the past which you can find on my website, which is thepublication.github.io. So that'll have the previous 4 issues of my publication that I made in collaboration with my friend Clayton Woolery, as well as my archive of in and out lists going back to 2015. So if you want some good laughs looking back at the post-sincerity irony of that era, the pre-Trump era, highly recommend it.
And I just through getting to know you over the last couple of years, I haven't seen a ton of your art, but the descriptions alone just it leaves me breathless. It's such a way that I was like, I am paralyzed by just how hilarious everything is, and it's all in the details.
Thank
and
you.
Every single aspect. When people talk about composition and mediums, you just don't leave anything out when it comes to your art. Like, what were you telling me about walking in? We were talking about, was it like a thesis or something you did for college?
Yeah, so it was a final project for a sound on film class. So it was all about like sound tracking.
If you don't mind me asking, where'd you go to school?
I went to Tufts in Boston.
Okay.
And so this was a class at the school at the Museum of the Fine Arts, which is Tufts owns it now, but it's the art school.
Okay.
One of the big art schools in Boston. And so the class was about like video art and film and how you can use sound in them.
Okay.
So I made that project. Was called the Patsy Decline. I don't know where my final export of it is anymore, so I don't have it.
Oh no!
But it was me lip syncing to my own recordings of Patsy Cline songs using karaoke tracks.
Okay.
And then pretending to play a not plugged in electric guitar and green screened in front of videos of drag queens falling down. So it was funny, but it was also like I made it following a breakup and was listening to a lot of Patsy Cline and you know, having like some very sentimental moments constantly freaking out.
Right.
So I think like you said, I make things that are funny, which is true. Like I only make something if it is making me laugh.
Right.
But I think that project felt so successful because my professor picked up on that, like, it's kind of the funniest things that are the most vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a lot of vulnerability in humor, like more so than something serious a lot of the time. So humor is super important to me.
Phenomenal. You know what? I want to see that so bad. And also I want to say, if you're not lying face down on a hard surface in a puddle of your own tears, convulsing, I know, to Patsy Cline.
Are you living?
Did you really experience love in the first place?
No.
Like, well, actually the first time I heard that song I've heard it in high school. Yeah. No, King of the Hill introduced it to me.
Yep.
The first time I heard it was King of the Hill, and then I got into Patsy Cline, and I got into Dolly Parton, and threw some Etta James in there because the harmonies are very, very similar.
Yeah,
and
totally.
So do you still consider yourself an artist? Like, there has to be, come on, being in creative control of any aspect of such a large publication. Yeah,
I mean, I think that feels different because I wear so many shoes just within that job.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do everything from copywriting to graphic design.
Oh, you do copywriting.
But it kind of depends what I'm working on for how artistic it feels, because I mean, like, marketing is marketing, so goes back and forth. And then like, but I would still consider myself an artist. I like haven't been making as much of my own stuff as I would like and as I used to.
Your paintings are so good.
Thank you.
Yes, it's just, and there's so many different styles.
I'm getting back into painting, which has been really good, and I do mostly acrylic work.
Any porcelain work? Sorry, I just need to let the listeners know we have this inside joke about our affinity for toilets.
Yes.
And fancy bathrooms. I think that's not how we met. We met at Whole Foods, but it had other than our disdain from working at that job, we really bonded over an affinity for just elegant restrooms and also the you're in the inner city when you're driving down the street and you see a commode on the curb. And those are made for smashing. I'm sorry. I know you're not supposed to be there. And why does nobody know how to properly dispose of their toilets?
Right. Like, that's what I always wonder. Like,
why is that
like, there's got to be a better way.
Why is that the end of the road for so many toilets?
So long. Like, they just
sit there and people use them. I've seen people use them.
Where do you think it's going, baby? Like, this is not an outhouse.
Like, I think they're for smashing. You should not be using those.
Looking, you know, like.
And they're facing out towards the street, so you're just looking at everybody while you're making. Please don't do that. If you see a toilet on the curb, call 311 immediately so they can pick it up. But also, I just think there's nothing like taking a whack at it. I'm not okay. I just have to say, if anybody starts smashing toilets, this is not because of what the Plant Plug podcast is promoted. For legal reasons, it's a joke. Thank you. We have so many disclaimers on this show. I had a doctor on here the other day, and I said, we're not medical professionals. Everything we say is for entertainment purposes only. And she cut me off. She's like, I'm a medical professional.
Still for entertainment.
It was so funny. I'm like, I'm so used to none of us being like, we are not professional toilet smashers. Please don't. Everything we say is for entertainment purposes.
Not even amateur either.
But I just think this is what they're for.
Again, why else would they be there?
Nonetheless, but yeah, that's what we really connected over was art and curation. Yeah. And also, so you're originally from Ohio. I'm originally from, where else are you going to be? But you're from Ohio, and you moved out into LA, and you stayed. Yes. I always talk about that when people stay. I'm intrigued when people do stay, and also impressed, depending on what it is they do or what have they done. I want some people to still leave, like you could have left 10 years ago. But nonetheless, was it the initial attraction to Los Angeles, aside from the weather and the culture and me? What was your initial attraction to coming to LA?
It's funny you ask that because it goes back to like my art and stuff. Is that like I just thought it was funny. I was like, this is the funniest city I've ever seen.
Funnier than New York?
Absolutely.
No way.
New York takes itself so seriously.
Oh, wow.
Whereas like in LA, you got toilets on the street, and then there's like a row of palm trees and like a Maserati, and you're like, yes,
it's literally how it is. Like, go drive on Olympic all the way to the west side. That's exactly what you'll see.
Exactly. Like, just for like the whole first year when I moved here, when I was like driving north on any street in Hollywood, and you see the Hollywood sign while you're driving, and I would just start cackling. I thought it was so funny.
Wow.
But I think it also, there's like, I think I was saying this at a party last night. I think Los Angeles is the most American city.
How so? It's interesting.
I think New York, because of its origins and its age, is more of like, it's like a nexus point, right?
Okay,
so
yeah.
I think it feels more European. It feels more international. Right. Whereas you come to Los Angeles and you're like, this is American.
Wow.
I think the way that it's like multicultural, the way it is.
Right.
You know, like it's basically a bilingual city.
Yes. If you don't speak Spanish when you come here, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like not even the basic.
Yeah. Living here.
Yeah.
And so I think it doesn't get credit for that.
Right.
You know, like the way like Montreal does and stuff for being a bilingual city.
Canada gets a lot of credit for things.
Yeah, exactly. And like, to me, that feels very American.
Right.
But also this is like where our media and our culture is made.
Right.
So,
which has a huge impact on the world.
Right.
Like other than the politics, everything fictional is made here.
Yeah.
Especially the corn.
Yeah. Well,
the Valley. Oh my God, the Valley was ridiculous. Valley in Hollywood, back in 2005. It was such a good era. It was so trashy. I loved it. Everybody I was in the rooms with was either actors or they were doing that.
Yeah, actually, it's funny that you say that because LA and Montreal are the two biggest cities for it.
Montreal?
That's where Cornhub is based. Among
I do not stand Cornhub.
Many other companies are based in Montreal.
I didn't really. Is that why The Weeknd made a song about it?
Maybe.
Anyway, I don't know if he's from Montreal or not, but I was just like, wow, come on, Canada. Anyway, yeah, the Valley, everybody, like Vivid is out there.
Yeah.
They're a big one.
Yep. No, there was a house for filming that was on the block that my really good friend Lucas grew up on. Mm-hmm. And when he was like 7 or something, he was always like, what's going on in this fancy house?
No.
And his parents straight up told him because they thought it was so funny.
Oh, no. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine.
He's fine. He's doing
it's
all
just
right.
Like, that would never happen in Ohio.
No.
You know, like, we don't have corn. We have corn.
You have so much corn.
There's so much. You look out your window, or I would take a wrong turn trying to go to the mall, and I end up in a cornfield.
Wow.
My grandparents actually grew corn for a long time.
Okay.
They grow organic hay now because it's easier.
Right.
And you get more harvests out of it
No.
per season.
No way.
So as they're getting older, it's easier for them. But
yeah, I can't imagine how heavy all
like
that corn
I literally
is.
grew up going to the corn farm next to my grandma's vegetable garden, and she is like, if she wasn't nuts, I would say we should get her on an episode because, and I say that lovingly, because she can grow vegetables like nobody's business. I have never seen anything like it.
Wow.
Like, you would be floored. Biggest zucchinis I've ever seen.
Wow.
The best hot peppers. Blackberries also.
Right. So you got to see a really good side of agriculture.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, because it's a nightmare now.
Yeah.
It is absolutely. If you're not growing, I was talking to somebody about this today. If you're not growing corn or soybean, you're screwed. The family farm is gone.
Yeah.
It's going up the river. It's being foreclosed on. The cattle, it's not funny. The poor cows.
I know.
And you're not.
That's the only reason my grandparents have been able to, because that hasn't been their main source of income. It's like a side thing that they've always done.
Okay.
So there's not that kind of pressure.
Right.
But they did grow organic soybeans before they were doing hay.
Okay.
For that reason, but soybeans they're tricky. They're tricky.
Oh, yeah.
But that's like largely when you drive around now, there's a lot of soy being grown in my part of Ohio. Corn also still, but way more soybeans.
Now, speaking of corn, there's a corn concert coming up, and just to keep everybody confused, we're talking about the new metal band, but corn, and also how much has the music scene been different and the artistic, you know, because I've seen the kind of concerts you go to, and they're very intimate, and they're very, I'm not going to, I don't want to say techno grunge, but there's a punk element to it as well.
Yeah.
And it's a very electro pop.
It's like hyper pop.
Hyper pop, yeah. So Sophie, right?
Yeah.
Sophie made that as the icon of that genre, and I was just thinking, like, you know, a lot of people are attracted to the weather and the culture, and for you, the hilarity, which I really appreciate. LA's a funny city.
It's really funny.
It's really, really funny.
And people are nice here, and it's like it's laid out in a way that makes sense to me, being
right.
from the Midwest.
Okay.
And, like, I understand strip malls.
Oh, there's so many strip malls in LA.
Right. That's
like
what
we just
Ohio
got malls
like
like
too.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like there was just the Beverly Center.
Yeah.
And the Century City Mall, but it was open outdoor mall.
Yeah.
And then Fox Hills, and that's it.
Right. No, but like that's how Ohio's.
You had to go to the Valley or San Bernardino to get them all.
Yeah. So like it makes sense.
Oh man. Okay. So the music scene coming over as an artist, like, were you just like blown away, or is it kind of the same? Like, I would imagine Ohio.
Oh, so
or Boston. We could talk about either one. We could talk about Beantown.
They're all super different from each other. I think here what's cool is that, like it was really easy to come into it and like make friends with people, like to be in the music scene socially. Like that's why the shows I go to are like that, because it's usually my friends performing, and I like met most of those people within a couple months of moving here.
Right.
Like I remember with my really good friend Ravenna Golden, who, if you like hyperpop, you should check out her music. I think we met maybe like 3 weeks into me moving here, and I was like, oh, I have to show you these songs on SoundCloud that I really, really like, that I'd been listening to for like months. I show it to her, and she was like, oh, that's my ex. And I was
that's
like,
hot.
I'm here. Okay.
That's my
like,
ex.
It's like you just run into people here. And it like is friendly. Like people are down to talk about what they're doing about. They're collaborative. Whereas Boston is much more like old guard hardcore. I worked at a music venue in Boston, and like the stage manager is literally the guy from All Time Low. Like it's like Vanguard
doing spin kicks at company
emo,
meetings.
Literally like Vanguard hardcore dudes. Like which is fun, but it's not particularly friendly.
Oh no, no.
So, and then Ohio, where I'm from in Northeast Ohio, was like when my parents were growing up, the music scene was incredible. Like all the bands from like Akron and Cleveland, like we had like Devo and the Pretenders, and, like, all these bands. And it was like bands performed in Akron and Cleveland a lot more than they do now. So, but that had kind of dissipated. because like we're in the Rust Belt, so it's populations have been declining. That's why you're seeing all the ads across LA to get people to go to Ohio.
They're really pushing it. Like there was a point, my TikTok feed was so many Ohio jokes, and I'm like, I think they know I've been hanging out with you, but I was just like, what the hell, like.
But yeah, have you seen the ads around Hollywood?
Right.
They're literally advertising to move to Ohio. But I mean, like it's fun when I go, and it's cheap to go see music in Ohio, which I love. But it's like, and actually a lot of rappers have come out of Cleveland and Akron.
Okay. There's a ton of the funk. Half the funk movement came out of Ohio.
Because it's super connected to Detroit.
Yeah. So people, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
Also Bootsy Collins. And then there's a ton of people. All of that to Ohio. That is wild. And so getting back to corn and the creative part of which you do, there's a lot of nature incorporated in it. I'm not talking about bushes. I'm talking about...
Because those are out of style a little bit. Well, they're coming back.
They keep coming back. They keep coming back like bell bottoms.
I'm happy about.
They keep coming back like bell bottoms and, low-rise jeans. Like, low-rise jeans can stay away, though. Yeah. Everybody should not be wearing those. I think everybody should not be wearing them because of how uncomfortable they are. And crack is just all over these streets. The crack epidemic returns when people start wearing low-rise jeans. No matter what shape, no matter what size, because we do not body shame here on the PPP podcast, crack epidemic will re-hit. I'm sorry, drug addiction is not trivial, but crack has touched down back in these
streets.
Crack
is whack, baby.
Crack is really, really whack. But I just am really, I know that there's a lot of archival footage that is being re-released and stuff, and you gave me this amazing anniversary copy. It's like this thick, as a phone book, and I was like, "Oh, this is that good paper you guys printed on." And I was really, really grateful to get that. I was just looking at it like, wow, just like looking at that type of work is a completely different lens, and but people put it all in the same box and all in the same umbrella, which is very
also interesting because they historically, like, what we do has actually made itself very distinct from actual corn,
right?
And usually our models are professional models or something else. They're usually not adult performers, and that is something that is changing, which is really cool because I think people are always trying to give things hierarchies of eliteness.
Yeah, they do.
That's where the beautiful sets and stuff come in.
Yes, like you guys are on Red Rocks, and I am just really eating it up and appreciating all the corn that is being served. It's just it embodies so much. It also, I feel like it's very celebratory. Like this, not the female form and everybody that goes into it. Like, and you were telling me that actually the publication is kind of ran by women and other queer folk, which is crazy because you would think the latter, right?
I mean,
that's the audience, but that's not even the main audience, though. A lot of the audience is female.
Yeah, way more than people think because who cares? Like a good photo is a good photo.
Yes, it really is that simple.
Good content is good content.
Yeah, good content is good content.
It's pretty simple.
Okay.
Lots of nature.
How do you see, ideally, say if the whole thing just belonged to you, the whole shebang. I don't know if you want that mansion though; it needs to be hosed down. But say that the whole thing just belonged to you. What direction would you want to move in creatively?
So I really love the magazines from the early 70s, early to mid 70s, because the photo shoots, the concepting was just nuts. Everything was getting greenlit,
right? Everything,
but in a really cool way where it's you don't see photo shoots like that anymore. They were literally building interiors for the photo shoots,
right?
And it's what is this gorgeous bathroom that you imagined?
Wait, are there bathroom shots?
Yeah, there's a good one that I'll show you.
Please.
I have to find it.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know where it is, but
I love it.
But also the editorial was really good. It's when I forget. I'm blanking on his name. I was blanking on it last night. But the author of Roots, Alex.
Oh, Alex Haley?
Yes. He was the editor.
No way.
So
Alex Haley used to work for Playboy.
He was the editor. So under him, the editorial took on this like really cool pro civil rights movement vibe that could also be funny and sexy.
Right.
So like you turn the page and there's a beautiful pictorial. You turn the page and it's like a Playboy interview with like a Black Panther leader.
Right. No way.
And like pretty unedited as well. And then there's like funny stuff in there too. There's like funny cartoons and funny ideas.
I did like the cartoons.
Like it's really good.
Okay.
And I love how it's such a variety of content. But it also means that like more people are seeing more different things, because a lot of people, like my grandpa had a subscription to Playboy for a while in the 70s, which my aunts gave to him as a present.
That's interesting.
Which is really interesting because they're
I
the
had
really
family
Catholic side of my
give
family.
me magazines.
Yeah.
What do you say? I straight up
I was surprised, and because when I got hired, my mom was like, "Don't tell your dad's family," worried that they were going to be like offended by it or something. And then they said, "Oh, Grandpa had a subscription for years."
Oh, Grandpa!
And then my grandma gave me like a vintage mug from one of the Playboy clubs that she's had in her basement for like 50 years.
Sweet.
But I think what's cool is that like, where else would my like Catholic Republican grandpa been reading interviews with Black Panthers? I think it like. And I don't know if this is possible anymore, but I think it really democratized content in a way where it was like, it wasn't a right-wing or left-wing publication, but it was like getting some really cool content into the hands of people who probably wouldn't go seek it out. Like they would actively reject it probably.
Right.
But because it was like couched in these beautiful pictorials.
Right.
And this concept of like sexuality and like masculinity, suddenly it's okay.
Right.
So I think that is really cool that it sort of like secretly fed a lot of really good, smart people's words
right
into the like brains of people who wouldn't see that otherwise.
Absolutely.
Which is obviously is so much harder to do now, because people are so split, you know, like they find the information they want to find,
which is really I don't want to form an opinion about that because that's another episode, and my brain does not my brain's not full of enough caffeine to even go there. So I love that vision. I love that vision, and that's actually what I was thinking of. I was like, what era, what decade? And then that's moving in the direction of a sense that is not even like trying to slip things into the reader. It's like straight up, this is what this magazine, this is what this issue is going to entail, and then people are getting that alongside. So that was the thing that kind of set Playboy apart too, is that you were getting a side of culture along with your fresh serving of corn.
Totally.
Such good corn.
And why shouldn't the two go together?
That's what I'm saying, and it doesn't have to be hyper sexualized in a sense or anything. It's a very natural thing,
right?
And also it doesn't
can be highbrow.
Yeah,
but it can also be funny. Like I think it's also then highbrow content can also like be funny. You know, it's like a.
Would that explain you in a nutshell? Yeah. Highbrow that's also funny. That's pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! And we're just sitting here dressed like Buzz Lightyear and Patsy Cline, and I'm just really eating it up. And you're wearing. All right, everybody. 3, 2, 1. We're back from our commercial break. That was quite a commercial break, I might say. Shout out to Ashe Illuminations as well as Plant-Based Ninja for really making this podcast happen today. And I have a friend that has sat in with us along with my homegirl Helen. Hi. This is Amanda, aka Amanda Photogenics, aka Phreckles with a PH and a $. Don't get it messed up because she just trademarked the name. We're coming for you if you try to come for her name. And also, she's dressed like a mermaid, y'all.
I can confirm.
So, I want to be where the people are.
I wanna see them dancing.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I'm done.
No, thank you. I really,
Thank you.
really appreciate that.
I needed that. I actually am surprised it didn't happen
I hope we don't get
sooner.
flagged for copyright because you know the world that we live in. Walt Disney's coming for us. Okay.
It's a cover.
It's a cover? It is a cover.
Or
Speaking of cover,
we can claim parody law.
Damn, I didn't think about that. But this is, you know, this is part 2 of our season finale of the Plant Plug podcast, as well as our corn episode. We are doing one corn episode a season, which is very, very interesting, where we discuss all types of corn. Do you like corn, Amanda? Or variations of corn? It's or variations of corn?
Wait, she has corn earrings.
Yes, get into it.
I wore them for the corn episode.
Yes, get into it.
Wow.
So a mermaid. Yes.
I love popcorn.
You do.
It's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
I haven't had it in so long. Like, I liked like the Smart Pop and the cheddar popcorn and just really, really basic stuff. But aside from the things that we were talking about earlier regarding corn, which we find out now that Amanda likes popcorn, we can move on. We've been waiting the whole episode to find out what kind of. I know, case closed. So, if y'all don't already know, Amanda is a model, an actress, an Uber driver, you said, as well as a marketer and also a model. So get into it. Get into everything she has going on. And where can people find you?
Okay. I go by the name of Phreckles.
Mm-hmm.
PHRECKLE $. You did not mention musician, but I think it's because the coffee hasn't hit.
Yeah.
I'll go back and fill in. I am a single mom, model, actress, musician, Uber driver, plasma donator, event coordinator, producer. I don't know. Just like I do a lot of shit.
You sure do.
Yeah. When she says she's busy, she means
Right. Y'all hiring or what? Like, you got a lot going on.
Yes. We just can't pay right now. We're looking for interns.
We're looking for interns. But, interning can be where it's at. So how long have you been rapping for?
So my musical journey began at 9 years old.
Oh,
I
wow.
started playing trumpet. And when I was 12, I played trumpet in Carnegie Hall. And for my 8th grade graduation, I got a bass guitar and I played in 4 punk bands. And then I started writing rhymes every day at 16. But I didn't put it to music till about 10 years ago. When I first started, I was going under the name Female, spelt Female. So if you try to look for it, you can probably never find it because it's spelt female. And Female was my alter ego that just kind of like rapped about like how rich she was and money and drugs and partying and like all the cliche shit.
Right.
And then I got sober and I realized like, oh my God, all of my songs are about getting fucked up. Like I need new songs now.
Right. And being a sober musician has to be a trip and a half, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm constantly around all kinds of stuff, you know, but I've also seen dramatic improvements in every area of my life. So it's not like I feel like I'm really missing out on anything.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a common thread with musicians too. I feel like it's so like 50-50 if they're sober.
Yeah, especially in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
There's just like, and there's a lot of hinting I've read since I noticed. In they'll make jokes in certain things like, wait, only a sober person would talk like that, or like somebody that's been to rehab.
Right.
Status symbol. Like, girl, you been to rehab?
Yeah.
Yes. It'll get you where you need to be, particularly.
So yeah,
That's where
I
you
got
network.
sober and Phreckles was born.
There you go, Phreckles with the PH, and
so great.
so you do a lot of different shows. You've found to make it work with being a mom and also just marketing yourself, creating your own projects. You have a network of people and people that you work really closely with. And the cool thing is that I've been in a lot of your music videos and I see the same people there, and that is actually really important. I don't know if people pick up on that, but people that don't switch the members of their team too much are people that you could stick around, unless they're all scumbags. But you guys are cool. You guys are totally cool. Like, you know, but I just really enjoy watching your growth and watching your progress as far as that goes. And also, word on the street is that you also have a nonprofit going on.
I do.
Okay. Another thing.
Another thing.
I love
President
it.
of a nonprofit. We left that one out.
President, let's go.
President/founder.
Yeah, what's the name of the nonprofit and what is it about?
We are called Bullying, Addiction, and Domestic Violence Association.
Okay.
AKA Badass.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our mission statement is to offer education, awareness, and outreach regarding bullying, addiction, and domestic violence related issues. It's worded that way so that we can help in a very wide umbrella of ways. But the original idea is for me to, I'm already very active in the recovery community. I speak at meetings, rehabs, stuff like that, sponsor women. I'm very openly sober. So the idea is to take the work that I have been doing in the recovery community and bring it into areas of other things that I've survived. And for me, like being bullied growing up was like a huge part of my life, a huge part of my struggle. And then the domestic violence thing, and I think I said it earlier to you guys in the podcast that did not get recorded.
I know. Oh my
Secret
goodness.
podcast.
Secret podcast.
Bullying is actually a precursor to domestic violence and addiction issues.
Definitely.
So, yeah, it's kind of like all related in a way. But I want to take what I've already been doing in the recovery community and open up to speaking to kids about bullying, speaking to women in women's shelters, telling my experience, strength, and hope in those areas.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So you have the career, the music career, and also you have your nonprofit that's about, like, it is popping. Like, this is a very, very exciting stage and development that's going to come forth in your life. And then also, what other projects do you have coming on? I feel like you have like 5 projects just like in
All
the
the
queue.
time.
Yeah, always. Like you have a Netflix style career. Like, we're just knocking out series after series after series. Like, people can totally binge watch all your content.
So next week on the Amanda Smith, aka Phreckle show,
Right?
we will be walking into possibly 3 fashion shows. Also, in the next week, we have a music video for the Trust song off the Out the Cocoon album that should be finished with editing.
And that means we're gonna have another
Set
party, huh?
To have a music video release party.
There we go.
She has the best parties, y'all. And people can come. Like, she wants people to show up. She wants fans to be there. She wants people that are music lovers or people that just want to chill out and kick it and stuff and be around good people. Pull up. Yeah, on her man, if you have a music video release, like, I need to let everybody know. Like, it's somewhere to be. I really appreciate all you do. Okay. So what else you got going on?
And then we have some shows next weekend. I haven't posted the flyer for the one next weekend yet. That one's in LA.
Okay.
I will be posting the flyer on my Instagram.
Okay.
And the weekend after that, I believe it's the 13th, whatever the Saturday is after next Saturday, I have a show for my friend Mike Storm's album release party. I'll be performing there, and it's in Apple Valley, which is really far in the middle of nowhere. But I'm super excited about it because I've been wanting to perform outside of LA, and that is outside of LA.
Like, way outside LA.
Way
Wow,
outside,
I'm so excited for you. How did your Fat Lip show go?
Really good.
For the kids that don't know, the children, Fat Lip was part of this amazing group called Far Side. And he recently had a show which Freckles appeared at. I know. Isn't that just amazing? And then also you were on a Cool Keith podcast? Or no, not Cool Keith. Don Magic Wand.
Yes.
Actually, why did I mix those two people up?
The last music video release party that I had after you left, Fat Lip came.
No way! Right after? Where did I? Oh, I was not. Oh, yeah, I was so. I think I was.
You had something to do the next day.
Yeah, like at 6 a.m.
But like, now that I think about it, it would have been cool because you could have met. He's really cool.
Yeah,
he's a cool dude.
Yeah,
he's like been supporting my music. So
I love it. I love seeing you shine and so forth. Also, I need to ask you, and I haven't asked you very much either. What plants are in your life, Amanda?
I have a money tree that the plant plug gave me.
Oh, watch out.
But you know what?
What happened?
It hasn't grown any money yet.
That's not how it works.
Faulty product.
If you take my name. That's funny.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah. You just gotta put a little special fertilizer on. It'll be just fine. You know, have big bills and any time now.
Special
any moment.
fertilizer. I don't do that anymore.
I'm not even gonna get into that.
Right.
One.
That's the other corn episode.
Yeah.
So you have a money
The
tree. What
coffee
else
is
do you
kicking
have?
in.
Yeah, slightly.
Thank God.
Slightly. Well, in case y'all are curious, the plants of the day are catnip and lemon balm. So if you need a little sedation, you could just start sniffing on that.
No.
But what other plants do you have in your life? You have a money tree.
It.
That's it.
I have the money tree, and I have fake plants. Don't hate me. I
don't.
I have kept a child alive for 13 years, but I have not had the same luck with plants over the years. But I am very proud of myself because my money tree seems to be still alive.
And
Yeah.
your
It
child
could
is
be
alive. I would take that.
It
Any
could
day.
be frozen in time because I had a cactus once that I thought was still alive, but my dad was like, Amanda, it's not grown in 5 years. Are you sure it's alive? And I was like,
It's very much, yes.
So I'm hoping that's not what's happening with the money tree.
Right.
I have no idea.
Hey, if it's still alive, you good. I'm going to take your word for it. Right on. And Helen.
I'll show you a picture as
yes,
evidence.
please send me all the pictures. What plants do you have?
Well, until recently, I had my 2 corn plants, but they're out for the count at this point.
Aw.
So that's how it goes. But I'm sure I'll have more next year. And then I have a very scary but alive and growing kale plant.
Yeah, that kale has a mind of its own up in your house. I've seen it. I'm like, what?
It does not look like a kale plant. And then I have a bird of paradise plant that I had for like 2 years and it didn't grow at all. And then I pruned it right or something a couple months ago and it's going crazy. It's like as tall as me now.
Huh.
And I'm not short, so
Yeah, neither one of you are short, by the way. Thank
Yeah.
you. Neither one of you are.
But yeah, those are the plants in my life right now. I'm trying to think if there are any. I mean, there's a few others in my house, but
We can always get you more. You
yeah.
too.
I mean, it's whether or not I can keep them alive.
Yes, so that goes right back to the plants of the day. I have 2 because there's 2 of you. I have catnip here, which is easy to take care of once the seeds germinate. It's actually in the mint family, as well as it only affects 2/3 of cats, and it's super easy to maintain. It should be
Dende loves
contained.
Dende loves it.
Roll her up a fatty, bro. Take a couple pieces, let her get good. But also, it is in the mint family, so with any type of mint, it is very invasive and it needs to stay contained. And last but not least, I do have lemon balm, which I'm going to continuously pick. Oh my God, this smells so good. It is super relaxing and very calm and also very easy to maintain as well. And another thing, though, I wanted to ask you, Amanda Phreckles, Amanda Photogenics, president and CEO of Badass Nonprofit. That is so cool. That's like the best acronym abbreviation ever. Like, good on you. What kind of like setbacks have you faced specifically being a woman? And I can't iterate I can't talk about this enough as far as like being a musician and a woman in the industry in LA, in a major city, you know? How's the music scene in Ohio? We already talked about that. But like, have there been any type of like crippling setbacks something that you just can't really get away from, or you constantly have to find yourself defending?
Honestly, I'm the kind of person that like nothing in life is crippling to me.
There you go.
Like I have broken my foot before and showed up at my modeling shoot and hobbled around on set for like 8 hours
Oh my
before I
God.
went to the hospital. So there's like not really anything I would consider crippling, but difficult has been not only am I a woman in the music industry, but I'm also a model, which means that I am what society would view as beautiful. And with being a quote unquote beautiful woman in the music industry, you have a lot of people who have alternate intentions and ulterior motives.
Yeah.
And that has trained me to have to be able to walk out of any situation. Should the situation arise where I feel like it's not actually about the music. You know?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will make it seem like it's about the music, And then when they get you alone,
They're not very subtle. It sounds like.
Not even.
So, yeah, I mean, I've had to let go of different projects over the years. I've had to let go of ideas and plans in order to maintain my self-respect and my dignity. And, yeah, that's been a little frustrating. Sometimes it's subtle. I think the most frustrating is when it seems like you're working with someone regularly and then it takes.
That's the super whack.
You know what I mean?
That's the wackest.
I kind of like it better when like you meet someone when you're out and they're like, if you're my girlfriend, I'll like make you famous. Because then I'm just like, okay, bye.
The deal is on the table and I can say no.
Good.
Right.
But like when they kind of like reel you in and make all the, you think you're working towards something, and then they're like, yeah,
it's evil.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
yeah, high key is nothing.
Nevertheless,
right?
She persisted.
Yeah, I will survive. Ugh. Wow. Yeah, it's ultimately it's pretty scary, and the fact that you've been able to navigate that and also be able to distinguish those things as walking into a room, you can feel it. Like, that what's about to go down. That's actually really incredible. And also I feel there's a need to be a consistent reminder. This is not a broken record because we're not the ones that broke it. Yep. It's the people that continue to perpetuate these ideals, that it's anything, even if you give somebody a gift or a drink or even a opportunity or their big shot, that you're entitled to their body.
Yeah.
Let alone their time.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, they're not giving to give. And that could be found in any industry too, which is very, very wild. But in some industries, especially modeling and entertainment, it is like it's kind of it's not the standard. I don't want to use that word, for lack of a better word. What word would we use?
It's like I don't know.
It's part of it though.
Yeah.
It has its seat at the table.
It's expected.
Yeah, expected. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just.
Yeah,
I can't get jiggy with at all.
But like you were saying earlier, I have managed to find a wonderful community of chosen family. Mm-hmm. And as a bullying survivor, someone who didn't really grow up with very many close friends, I have met a lot of really, really amazing, supportive people who I can count on, and they can count on me. And it's been really cool. Like, once I find good people, I keep them close.
Yeah, y'all say mobbing. Every time I show up to an event, it's like the same 8 people. And like, it's funny because you'll be working the room and everything, but low key they'll all be in the corner watching just in case anybody wants to get spicy. Yeah. Like, it's just that aura of protection. Yeah. And we work really hard to have. Yeah, it is. It's heaven sent. That's how I see it. Like, you're around people that really want to see you shine and be safe and have been there since literally like day one. Like, I'm like, I remember you. Like, I'll be seeing them like, oh, hey, how you doing? I'm like, you still here? Like, that's incredible. Like, you don't want to switch up too many people on your team, and that really elevates you to where you need to be. They're really, you can really.
We did have to step up for a little while the level of protection. Actually, speaking of the Fat Lip show, one of my exes, who I blocked from now 16, it was 15, it's now been 16 different phone numbers, decided to show up to the Fat Lip show.
Oh wow! And
walked right up to me and said, "I'm sorry, I'm late. I found out about this late. Like, I had fucking invited him."
Right.
Which is like real psycho shit.
Yeah. Truly.
You know what I mean? So since then, it's been more of a I met at the car and walked in, and the venue walked me to the car type situation. So it was already like, I have my support, I have my people around me, but now I'm thinking I'm kind of starting to calm down a little bit about it. Right. Because it's been a couple of months and there's been he texted me from another number in the past week, but he hasn't showed up anywhere. But there was a second there where I was like, what do I do? Do I get a restraining order? I have a taser on me at all times. I have pepper spray. Like, I have people, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So yeah. But at least I have that. I have people who will meet me at the car. Okay. And make sure that they're walking me in and walking me out. And yeah.
What would you suggest for anybody that wants to get into the lines of work that you do? You do so many lines of work. Sorry, I have to be careful with how that sounds, but you know what I mean, damn it. You damn know what I mean. We're swearing so much on this episode. You do some.
Yeah, I would
really
say
have to try not to.
advice for someone trying to get into this is
Let's start with the modeling.
Modeling. Okay. Take everything that you hear with a grain of salt.
That's good.
Because modeling is very fucking superficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what will happen is one day, and this is a true story, one day someone's going to tell you you are too fat.
Yep.
And the very next day, someone is going to tell you you are too skinny. So if there's no identity within yourself, value within yourself of where you stand,
Right.
then you're going to take either one of those or both and fall off the edge of the earth of your own like mental stability and balance, and you know what I mean? Because people will, and this goes to anything in the entertainment industry, like people will always have an opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If 9 out of 10 people say you're an orange, you might be an orange. You might want to look at that.
Right.
But if like one person says you're an orange, one person says you're a banana, and one person says you're a grape, like
Okay, y'all tripping.
I'm a vegetable.
I'm a vegetable. Yes. Okay, what would you say to anybody that wants to get sober?
somebody who wants to get sober, you definitely, and I don't think I could have done it alone. Definitely look into, there are programs, there are, meetings you can go to, there are other sober people you can connect with. They can show you the ropes on how to do that.
Okay.
Because when you decide to get sober, basically you have to relearn your whole life.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
I like that. You have to relearn your whole life.
Before I got sober, from the time I got up to the time I went to bed, at the very least, my life was, every activity throughout my day was surrounded by marijuana use. You know what I mean? So it's like I had to learn how to get out of bed in the morning without smoking weed before I stepped foot on the floor.
That's
you know what I mean? Like every second of the day. And like if you don't have any example or any guidance doing that, it can be really difficult.
Now, what would you say to anybody that wants to get into nonprofit-based activism?
Well, first I would say that there's a ton of volunteer opportunities that you can...
I remember every year for your birthday when we first met, we used to volunteer.
At the food bank.
I was more selfish back then. I was like, fuck. Not again. Can we go to Chuck E. Cheese or something?
Like, imagine you being like that.
I know. I used to be a certain way. You met me when I was angry. I was cursing somebody out in the parking lot when she met me.
Yeah.
Okay, now that I know you do.
Well, what I found was no matter what I did for my birthday, each year, I was always disappointed. It was always like, this person didn't come, or, this thing didn't happen, or I didn't get this, or whatever the fuck it was. And then finally I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm going to just volunteer every year on my birthday. Yeah.
It was a food bank.
We were doing the food bank. And that was like cool because it wasn't even about me anymore.
No. And that's
I got to see my friends and I got to do something good. You know what I mean? Like for me, like service is like super, super important in my life.
Absolutely.
Like, and in the darkest of my times, one of the things that I do, like when I'm really going through it, is like I really dig into service, like volunteer opportunities. Because there's going to be situations in your life, and something that I experienced like a few years ago is one of my best friends from my teenage years had a schizophrenic break and killed his parents. And it was the day after I was supposed to go see him for Halloween. And I couldn't make it because we had just lost our place due to bed bugs. So it was like, how do you fix that?
Right.
How do you make that go away? How do you change that?
Right.
You can't.
Yeah.
There's situations in your life where there's absolutely nothing you can do to feel better, to make it better, to change it. Like you are just in this place where fucking shit sucks right now.
Right.
And I found when I'm in that place, the only thing that like makes it so I feel somewhat okay is like, okay, even though like shit really sucks right now and I can't make it better, I made someone else's day better. And I can take that with me when I go to sleep.
I love volunteering now. I really, really do. Because all I wanted to do was party when we first met. And I was just like, wait a minute, you don't want to party on your birthday? But if that's not a celebration and recognition of life, just by being, like, just volunteering your time and just really putting certain things forward that can be super incredibly difficult for somebody else, that's just, like, the best feeling. Because birthdays can be really selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, the older I get, the less good I feel on my birthdays. But doing what you do on your birthday, like, just any day out of the week, let alone on the actual day we were born, it's such a selfless thing, and it just feels so good. Now, that's not necessarily why we do it, but it's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels good to be nice. Only to be nice.
I feel like every time I realize that, I'm like,
thank you
wow.
both so much for being on the season finale of the Plant Plug podcast with all its adversities.
We are happy to be
Today,
here.
like, we should name this the Murphy's Law episode because that's exactly what it was. Murphy's Law with a little bit of corn sprinkled in. Ew. But I want to give you guys both as parting gifts the lemon balm. Amanda, that's yours. And the catnip, that's yours. Feel free to dry it and make potpourri. I'm trying to make potpourri cool again. I'm trying really hard.
It's ever been not cool.
I know, right? Like 90s house making is, oh my God, my favorite era.
I can still remember how
Yes, but
in my house
I have plants
smelled.
for both of you. Thank you. Please
you.
water them. Please water them. And I'll be careful with the strays because they will be coming free if you leave that on your balcony. But the lemon balm, Amanda, that's there for you anytime you want to relax. And I really appreciate both of you being a big, big part of not just the Plant Plug, but also my life. You guys,
likewise.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I have a joke for y'all.
Oh.
What do you call it when a country music star, an astronaut, and a mermaid walk into a room?
Plant Plug.
Exactly. It's the end of the Plant Plug podcast. That's the wrap on the first season. Thank you all. Bye. Corn earrings.
Yes,
I'm trying. If the day can get any more perfect, I wouldn't know how because it's all right here in front of me. I really appreciate having you on as well. And we're going to have another guest join us very, very soon. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then pound some LaCroix. In public, not in the bathroom. And then we're going to reconvene with Phreckles joining us, everybody. And also, Helen is going to continue to stay with us. I am so excited about this. We're going to take that break. Back in a minute.
Yes, I would love to go pee.